New reports reveal that French President Emmanuel Macron has offered a $15 billion credit line to Iran in an effort to skirt U.S. sanctions on the country. This as France, together with Britain and Germany, have been working to salvage the JCPOA nuclear deal, despite American and Israeli objections. And here to discuss this ever-growing rift in European policy are Davidi Hermelin, the president of the International Center for Public Diplomacy in Israel, and via Skype, Julia Verdel, CEO of the Diplomatic Club Israel. Welcome. So why are European leaders in general, and Macron in particular, so eager to pursue a policy of appeasement?
First of all, let's talk about France. France is very close to being in a situation of political chaos. First of all, the protests of the so-called Yellow Vests and the protests of Muslim/Arab groups. We could see that very significantly during the last July 14th. And the protests became very wide and very violent. I believe that President Macron would like maybe to satisfy extremists in the Muslim communities. Of course, not all of the Muslim communities are necessarily extremists. It's important not just go and to say this to be politically correct, but because this is the truth. But those extremists, maybe President Macron believes that he can satisfy them if he will demonstrate more tolerance toward Iran. I think that this is a mistake because those extremists are from the Sunni Islam and not like Iran from the Islam of the Shia. Besides that, I think that Macron and also Germany, they're afraid that tensions with Iran will cause that the prices of the oil and the gas will become higher and will rise, and they're afraid that it will influence the prices of many things in the European market. And if the prices of the, let's say, cheese and the meat and the corn in France will go higher and higher because of that, it will influence the French and the German and the European vote. Mm-hmm. And this is why the European politicians are afraid because of that. But beside that, I have to say something else about Germany.
Okay, one final thought, then I want to hear from Julia as well.
Maybe we will wait with Germany, and first we will hear Julia.
So Julia, what are your thoughts on Macron's policy of appeasement?
Yes, this is exactly the... Hello, do you hear?
Yes, we can hear you, yes.
This is exactly the part of the Macron policy in the Middle East. This one of the points that he promised to his, before elections. He promised to break from the past. It means the previous political license or policy was extremely close to all partners in the European Union. Today, Macron playing a separate game. He's trying to be good boy with the enemies like Israel, like Iran, like Syria, and he exactly trying to be mediator in the Middle East. Mm-hmm. This is one of the points. He tried to make peace or with the nuclear agreement with the Iran, and he failed actually.
And yet he feels emboldened or empowered to stand up to one of his closest allies, right? The U.S. President Donald Trump.
I don't think that right now in Europe, most of the European leaders really feel, maybe they know, but they don't feel that Donald Trump is their ally. They should, because America is responsible for more than them to NATO. And I think that without America, with all due respect, the European countries couldn't stand in front of the Russian ambitions in the eastern side of the European Union. Maybe not in France itself, but in the eastern, the former countries of Warsaw Alliance from the Cold War. But I am very disappointed of the policy of Germany, because I think that when we say never again, this is the point when this policy should be practical and not only declarations. And any deal of Germany with Iran without guarantee by Iran that the discrimination of Israel is not an option for the regime of the Ayatollahs, it means that Israel is abandoned in a way. I don't forget all the good things made by Germany and for sure by Chancellor Angela Merkel. We should remember all the good things, but we should also, I think, express our disappointment of putting Israel in the second level of interests. If Germany has historical responsibility toward the destiny of the Jewish people, not because Germany of today is holding a fault of, about the past, but because Germany is responsible for the past in light of the future, we could expect and demand better policy.
And Julia, I want to ask you, how should U.S. President Donald Trump and Prime Minister Netanyahu respond to France's actions?
I think Donald Trump will not react. Israel should be worrying.
Well, that's all the time we have, so thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today.
Thank you, and vive la France. Good luck.
Thank you.
Pleasure. Thank you.